Welcome to the Two Takes podcast. I'm Logan,
Mason.
and today we got to make up for a lot of missing time.
Missing work.
We've been very busy the past couple weeks, and
Yeah, school's coming to an end soon,
yeah,
so
I promise we'll get more out during school time.
yeah,
We'll
football's
be
starting out.
football and all that, but there'll be time where we can make our podcast. We try to get them out as often as possible, but sometimes or is possible. Yeah. But sometimes, we just got stuff to do, and this is gonna be a longer podcast today. We got a lot of topics to cover because of all the stuff we've missed. But maybe that's better. We'll see how this goes, and let us know if you like in the comments if you guys like the longer ones or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot. Definitely as the NFL season goes on and MLB season and NBA is right now almost coming to an end. We'll definitely have more topics to talk about. Right now is really a dead time to talk about stuff. So let's get into this. You want to start off with the Reds first?
Yeah, let's start off with the Reds. Um,
So they've won out of the last 10, they won five. They've beat the Rockies today and yesterday, 6-4, 8-7. And then they lost the two out of three on Marlins. And then they beat the Orioles 24-2.
yeah,
Gosh.
they beat the crap out of them.
What out of the Reds lately, what has impressed you?
Um, the way we scored, honestly, that we started. I remember, what was it, 3 games straight where we lost like 0-1, and
Yeah, after winning. Yeah.
I feel like scoring, getting on base, and actually, I think our pitching, honestly, is our pitching has been really, really good. Uh, from what I've watched, I mean, we're above 500 now.
Yeah.
We dug ourselves out
Yeah.
of that trench, and now we are second in the National League.
Yes, that we're 2.5 games behind the Cubs, and we're about 1.5 games ahead of the Brewers.
Brewers, yeah,
Yeah, and 2 games ahead of the Cardinals. So yeah, we're right. We just got above 500. Hopefully, we can sweep the Rockies tomorrow, and then we got a 3-game series with the Cardinals at home starting
that'll
on
be
Monday.
big if we can.
4-game.
4 game, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm hoping the Reds. This is where the Reds need to like start racking up the wins
yeah.
early
Against
in the
these
season.
easy teams, they need to
Yeah,
win them.
yeah. The easier teams they need to rack them up,
Yeah.
and play a big part in the second half of the season.
Because their next couple games is the Cardinals. They're decent. Nationals aren't that good. Braves are struggling right now. Astros are okay, and the White Sox are horrible. So these next couple of series, they need to win at least. They
I
need to
feel like
win
we gotta
most of the
sweep the
series.
White
Yeah,
Sox.
yeah. White Sox aren't that good. Um, the thing that's impressed me is definitely the hitting because the hitting is started off slow.
Mm-hmm.
But they're getting more consistent. But the pitching has been kind of suspicious lately. Um, with Andrew Green had a good outing today, 6 innings, 3 runs, but it's at Colorado, and Colorado is a hitter's ballpark. With the elevation and giving up 3 runs in 6 innings is really good at Colorado. Yesterday Abbott didn't have a great outing. He went 4 innings. Not that good. But then Brady Senior, he's 4-0. Starting off hot. Um, Greens look good. Abbott's looked okay. Lodolo's looked good. The starting pitching has done really good. They're one of the top teams in ERA, and the bullpen has helped them in the backbone of that team. And if they can be more consistent as a team, they're definitely a playoff team. And right now they've been kind of consistent, not to the best. Because some games I'm really excited for this team, and then the next game I'm not excited at all. Yeah. Tomorrow they got a game 3-10 tomorrow at Colorado to finish up the series, and then they got a 4-game series starting up with the Cardinals starting Monday and then Thursday, and then the Nationals. So yeah, the Reds have looked really good. Ellie's hitting the ball really well.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Ellie.
Austin Hayes had 2 home solo shots today. He's batting 386. Both of the catchers. That's what's really I'm happy about because one of the catchers is hitting 433. He's been on the roster all season. And Jose Austin Wynns is hitting 433, and then Jose Trevino's hitting 309. That's really good out of catchers, and they're both really good in the fielding.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, they've been hitting the ball well. McLean has been slow lately though. He's like 0 for 16. His last 16, he hasn't hit the ball. Hopefully he picks it back up because he can be a really good hitter whenever he's at full strength. So yeah, that's really the MLB lately. Nothing really big just to kick off the season and get into this. But the biggest thing, you want to go into the NFL draft?
Yeah. I think everybody knows by now the Shador slump. I mean,
Yeah.
projected top 5 pick and slid
Yeah,
his round.
we can start off with that. Just to get this started. Do you think Shador should have dropped to what, sixth round, fifth round?
Let me. So look, I knew in my eyes, I was like, no, there's no way he should be top 10 pick. Really, I was like, if anything, early second round. If you don't go first round, second round. I did not expect 6th round pick. I mean, he went behind Dylan Gabriel and people like him, and I'm like, if you're hyped up that high and you go day 3, I mean, you got to prove them wrong. You got to show them
Yeah.
why you should have been that top pick, and it just kind of was. I kind of felt bad, but I was at the same time. I was like, I mean, you got way too highly of yourself.
Yeah,
You had a great receiver who went to second overall named Travis Hunter, and let's be real. I will give my takeaway on Travis Hunter, but we'll do that later. Right now, this is a Shador, and again, you're not playing in a really hard conference. You're playing mid competition at best, and you guys did not beat one ranked team with
yeah,
how
yeah,
good
you can
you guys
carry on.
were.
Yeah, so I saw a couple of things on Shador. So first thing, there's this NFL scout that he's like his ego's way too high.
Mm-hmm.
He isn't a good person. He's not a leader. Um, Another thing is Tom Brady told the Raiders not to draft Shador, and Shador was in the Raiders talk, and which was interesting. But Tom Brady told the Raiders to shut down this Shador situation. And so, do you know how the Giants traded up to get Jackson Dart in the first round?
That
That
was
was a
a
big thing.
big trade.
Yeah. But the thing is, they would have drafted Shador Sanders, but they gave him this test about their playbook. And he got like the test wrong, and he started to throw a fit about it. And Ryan Daboll, the Giants head coach, said, "Get him off the board. We don't want him."
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they ended up picking Jackson Dart with that pick. But first round was pretty interesting. The Browns. We can move on with the Travis Hunter.
Yeah, let's move
Do
on.
you,
Let's do top 10 picks, like reaction and what we
yeah,
think about that. The top 10, because that's
yeah,
a big top 10, and it was very controversial top 10, if you ask me.
yeah. I got a couple good questions. Do you think Cam Ward will be a good quarterback in the future?
People think he's not going to. I feel like he's going to. I mean, he had what 4,300 yards at Miami,
Yeah,
and
something
please
like that.
name like 2 receivers he had. He had Restrepo, and I don't know, and a 13-year senior. Actually, it's a 19.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
exaggeration. But I mean, nobody knows who the frick he was throwing to, and he threw that many yards in ACC, which is a pretty dang good conference, and almost took his team. I think he should have went into the playoffs, but um, over SMU. But I mean, he played really freaking good, and I think he's gonna be good. He's got a really good receiver. And I think what they built on their line too. I'm pretty sure in the draft.
Yeah, I'm not for sure.
Yeah, I can't remember. I wouldn't be able to tell you off the top of my head, but I could tell you one thing. He's got a pretty good receiving core, and he just got a lot better on defense. And I think I think the Giants are gonna make a pretty good run this season. Honestly,
Yeah, the Giants they had a pretty good draft. But Titans, Cam Ward, he isn't in a great situation. You can't name one player on that Titans offense. Um, you can name Tony Pollard, and after that, you're blank. Um, but Cam Ward, I think I don't know if he's a great quarterback. He's in the ACC, and the ACC isn't great competition. It's the ACC and Big 12 are together, and then the Big 10 and the SEC. That's a step ahead. Or SEC and Big 10 is a step ahead of the ACC and the Big 12. It's not even close. That's why I think Shador Sanders wasn't a great quarterback because he put up average numbers against Big 12 teams. Um, but Cam Ward, I don't really know. I don't think he'll be a great quarterback. I don't think he's in a good situation with the Titans, and maybe he'll be good, but I would pick I think he'll be a bust.
You think so?
Yeah. It just he did really good at Miami. Don't get me wrong about that, but it's ACC play, and he put up really good numbers in the ACC, but he didn't make the college football playoffs. And if you didn't make you're the best quarterback in this draft and didn't make the college football playoffs, it wasn't his fault. Um, but I think if you're the best quarterback in this draft, I think you have to make the college football playoffs. And I think teams are just so desperate for quarterbacks that they wanted Cam Ward. Maybe he'll be good. If he is, great for him, but I don't think he will.
Yeah. Um.
Um,
Yeah.
Next pick, it'd be like different question on like the player. Like Travis Hunter. Do you think he should play both sides? If so, do you think he'll be good at it? If not, which side do you think he should play? And if he's
I mean, for Jacksonville, I mean, I can only name one other person on that freaking defense. So I mean, he might have to play both sides, whether he likes it or not. Because I mean, I only know what's his name, Josh Allen, Josh
Josh
Hines
Hines
Allen.
down,
Yeah,
yeah.
switch his name.
Don't get that name wrong.
Yeah. um, I mean, their defense is. I'm pretty sure they had a good draft. I'm pretty sure. Not 100% sure, but I do know that trading up for Travis Hunter was probably their best thing they could have done. That was huge for them. Trevor Lawrence needed some new targets, and um, I feel like that's gonna help him, ETN, and Hunter. I mean, maybe that
Yeah.
could be like the new makeshift Clemson of them, where they,
Yeah, if he would
uh,
pick one side of the ball, which way do you think he'll
yeah.
go?
Um, I think wasn't he heavier on DB, but I think
Yeah,
they
he
would
went
need.
in as a draft in the combine as a DB.
Yeah, I think they need him more as a receiver.
So this is why I think that he'll play full-time defense, but whenever it's like a five wide set, I think they'll put him in the slot and
Mm-hmm.
maybe add like another weapon to that offense because he's 6'1". He isn't tall. He's
Mm-mm.
in, he has to be really fast if he's gonna go deep in. Um I think he should just play cornerback and maybe do like punt returns or kickoff returns, and then maybe come in whenever they run like a five wide set and be a slot guy. He won't. He I don't think he'll be a receiver one. I don't think he's ready for that. And again, it's Big 12 football. Big 12. Their only good team was Arizona State,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever they played a SEC team, they lost in what double OT. Um, So in Colorado, they didn't beat the big teams in that conference. But also Travis Hunter, and the big thing for me is Travis Hunter isn't the best receiver in this draft or cornerback.
Yeah, I mean, you had to talk about this a couple days ago on how I think he shouldn't be a top. He wouldn't be a top 10 prospect. Honestly,
Yeah, it's
he's
just
really.
because he plays both sides.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, yeah, he played both sides, and that's probably why. And he helped carry that Colorado team. But if we're being serious, Travis Hunter is not the top five receiver in the draft, and he's not the top five DB in the draft. Why would he
Yeah,
be top 10? Why would it be a top 10 pick? He's not better
yeah,
than any of them. It's like the Shador situation. He's not as good as any other receiver or DB in the draft. He's at best a third round pick for me. But I mean, he's obviously, since he plays both sides, and he's valuable, and he's not bad at either one. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's not as good.
yeah,
But for me, I mean, yeah, it's valuable, but I mean, how much can you really do? You can do that in Colorado, but it's Colorado again. Who the frick do you play? And if you do
yeah.
play
I
good,
know.
you lost all of them. And
Yeah, they lost whenever they had a big game. They played Kansas State and they lost them at home.
hmm and they need
Um,
to work on that, or he needs. I hope he's like maybe like I needed a better quarterback. Shador, obviously, he's not terrible either. I don't think he's horrible. I think he's got a really big ego that needs to be humbled, and I think this draft may have humbled him a little bit. But he did keep saying, it's God's plan. Um, I mean, honestly, I don't think God. Maybe God had you going top five if you just, kept your ego down a little bit. Instead, you got out of your
yeah,
mind and kept talking like you're some Tom Brady.
yeah, I know, yeah. I think Shador can be a good quarterback,
I think
but
he can. I think he has good potential. I think he just needs to keep
he
it.
needs to get the ball out faster. That's one big thing. He took for he. That's why Colorado gave up so much sacks because he takes forever to get the ball out.
And if you watch that Colorado State game, remember when he threw that one to send him to overtime, the touchdown?
Yeah,
He was half a second away from getting that ball smacked out of
yeah, I
his
know,
hand.
yeah.
He
He
could have
just
got
needs to
that
get the
ball.
ball out. Yeah.
But
Moving on to you got something to
no,
say?
no, no.
Moving on to the next thing. I just asked. We don't have to review the top 10. It's just interesting takes. Do you think Abdul Carter will be a top edge rusher in the coming years?
Um, he'll definitely be top one, I think. Um, I did see he wanted to get 56 like JT or LT. I mean,
Yeah.
and LT actually declined and said he wanted him to make his own legacy, and I think that's exactly what he'll do with Thibodeau. And they also drafted another edge in the draft.
Yeah.
Thibodeau, and that new edge. I think he's from like Boston College or something. I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure,
Something like that. Yeah.
but he was pretty good. But also he's really good in college. Abdul Carter
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
was a problem regardless who he played. He played good against Ohio State. He played good against the top freaking teams in the country, and nonstop did not disappoint once.
They should play his film whenever Ohio State drove down Penn State's throat in those last 5 minutes. Whenever they had that goal line stop.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's whenever he didn't do good though.
yeah. But
um,
I mean, he's
but
always a problem
yeah.
regardless. You always want to have a double team or somebody looking that way.
Yeah, I think Abdul Carter will be a top talent. It's just I think if the Giants treat him right, I think they gotta coach him up good. Um,
Yeah,
I think he will be a top D end, maybe the best if he is coached up right. I think that Giants team can turn it around. I think Jackson Dart is. I think Jackson Dart. I don't know if I think this quarterback class isn't that strong. I know how I said Cam Ward isn't, though, be a good quarterback, but I think Cam Ward is the best quarterback out of this draft.
yeah.
Um, but I think Jackson Dart is right behind Cam Ward, to be honest.
You think?
Yeah, I think Jackson Dart, he played SEC competition
Mm-hmm.
and he did good.
And did good, yeah.
He had about the same amount of stats as Shador Sanders in SEC Big 12. You know the difference. Um, Another Shuck, he's in the ACC. He had the same amount of stats as Jackson Dart, ACC, SEC. Know the difference. Um, and he didn't. I don't think he had a really stacked team around them. I don't know if Jackson. I think it's just the coaching. If the Giants can capitalize on the coaching these kids, I think they'll be good.
Oh my god.
Um, but moving on to the next thing. Do you think Colson Loveland should have got picked over Tyler Warren?
Oh my gosh, I remember us on the phone when this happened. This is the most
Yeah,
controversial pick I think of the top 10. Besides, yeah, honestly, yeah, I think it is. Bro, I don't think he was. I mean, let's think. They went 7-5. If he was that freaking good, I mean, my gosh, they should have went at least 9-4 or something. I mean, come on. If you're
yeah,
that good, getting a top 10 draft pick over Tyler freaking Warren,
yeah.
your
But
team
the thing,
should
yeah,
have better.
Tyler Warren, he can catch, throw, run,
Freaking
and even punt.
bro's up like a if you were to have I don't know. Honestly, I don't even know.
Taysom Hill back there,
Something.
even better flipping Tom Brady, Taysom Hill.
Yeah, he's like a Kevin Durant. Like, you can play any spot on the freaking court.
Um, but I think Colt. I don't know. The Bears had a stupid draft. They drafted what they didn't. They later in the draft they drafted a receiver whenever they had top big
Roma
receivers.
Doomsday and young, good talent.
Yeah. And they drafted another receiver in like Luther Burden or something like that. Something stupid.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think that I definitely I wish Tyler Warren would have dropped to the Bengals, but my problem was
Yeah.
the Bengals would have in a couple years. Who would they sign, Tyler Warren or Mike Gesicki? My thing
None.
is they'll let both of them walk. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of happy he didn't drop to the Bengals because it puts more pressure on the Bengals organization. You never like it whenever that happens, because they'll fall under pressure and not sign anyone.
hmm
Um, and everyone's like, "Oh, they signed Higgins and Chase." That's just trying to make people think they care.
hmm
If they would have let Chase and Higgins walk, there goes Burrow.
Yeah, bro.
They got it. That's the that they need to sign those people to keep Burrow because Burrow is the moneymaker. That's what everyone refers to Cincinnati. If you say Cincinnati, Joe Burrow. Um, and it's just the Bengals organization. They put names on the board and they throw darts at the board and that's who they draft.
hmm
Shamar Stewart was not. He should have been drafted a second, third round. He had 4.5 sacks in 3 years.
I bet they had their
Um,
whole like draft board lined up, like maybe Shamar in like the 6th round, and then they had freaking Siri flip a coin.
yeah. Yeah. Siri heads or tails.
Yeah,
Um, but Shamar, just moving on to the Bengals pick.
that was
I'll ask you this, but I think the Bengals overall draft, I would give them a C plus. What's your grade?
F. No,
F.
it'd be like a D, a straight D.
D.
It was not. I'm so disappointed with this draft. I mean, Shamar Stewart, bro, had 5 sacks in 3 years, or 2 year, or one
Yeah.
year. I don't know how many years he did.
3 years, 4.5.
It is he wasn't that good. I mean, first
Yeah.
round Shamar Stewart, second round you're gonna get a 25 overall. I mean, experience is good, but he's 25, and we just lost one of our linebackers. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that linebacker from what's it?
Carolina
It was
sucks.
that yeah, it
Demetrius.
was the second round. I think he was definitely their best draft pick. Demetrius Knight Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he'll be a good linebacker for them. I think he'll start. I think that he's old. And the Bengals are a win now team, so they need older people on their team because they're a win now team, and they need that veteran leadership. I think Demetrius Knight isn't far behind than some of these other guys, so I think that's their best pick of their draft. I don't really like their draft. I think they needed to go after a DB more than they did, because their secondary was soft. But maybe if they fix up Al Golden fixes up Cam Taylor Britt or fixes up these receivers and keeps them healthy, I think their secondary can be good. But they definitely need to fix up those safeties because Geno Stone was definitely the worst safety in the league. He
Mm-hmm.
couldn't make a tackle in open field.
I feel
And
like
then,
they didn't go for deep secondary because they're young,
yeah. And
and
then Von Bell, I think they'll let him walk. Um,
I mean, we let every freaking body walk, and just at
yeah.
this
But Von
besides the
Bell wasn't that
bums.
good. Yeah. They should have kept Jesse Bates from a couple years ago. He was the leader of that defense. And
Yeah,
after
now they
that,
have
it's gone
Xavier
down.
Watts.
Yeah, I wish the Bengals would have got one of those safeties. Or
You
maybe
could
they
have
can
got
take
Xavier
next year and
Watts.
got Caleb Downs.
They better.
um,
No, they won't. Bengals.
I don't
If
know.
it was up to freaking him, if Caleb Downs and some bum from the 30s,
Yeah, no.
they picked that guy.
Yeah,
Bengals just don't, especially in the first round. We just can't get a good first round pick. I mean,
um,
besides the two obvious.
just wonder, no bias here. Who do you think the best quarterback out of this draft was? Or who do you think will be underrated? One of those like late draft picks. Who do you think would be the best?
So I got a
No
couple.
bias.
I got a couple ones here. So I'll do three. I think that can come up and be really, really good, judging their situation, and three that I think are just top dog.
Yeah.
One, Quinn Ewers. with the way Tua has been hurt, and if he gets hurt one more time, especially a head injury, I think it might be over for him. And that, knowing him, I mean, he's gonna get thrown on his head again this year, and Quinn Ewers is gonna have to make that step in. And he might, I think, if he with the receiving core he has, we saw how not bad he did with Texas with those receivers. He got Tyreek and Jalen Waddle back or over there for receiving and a pretty decent O line. But I feel like if he comes in, I feel like he can maybe cause a problem and wreak some havoc there. Another one, Will Howard. I think Will Howard could potentially be the starter for Pittsburgh, depending
Yeah,
on what all happens with them because he wasn't really. I don't know. I don't know how to put it. He had the best receiving core he could ever had. So I mean, it's hard to kind of judge him off of that in a really good O line, but the competition he played was there. He played,
yeah.
showed
He
on
showed up in
how.
big
Yeah, he
situations.
showed up when he needed to show up, and that's impressive to me. Yeah, I think he's good. And no bias. I'm thinking between Kyle McCord or Riley Leonard. Riley Leonard has a good situation
I
over.
think Riley Leonard's in a better situation than Kyle McCord.
Yeah, he's in a better situation. He's Kyle McCord probably.
He's on the Eagles. He won't get a start. He won't get an opportunity.
Yeah, he's traded. But I think between them two, obviously, I'm picking Riley Leonard because he's in a better situation. And Colts had a really good draft. People underrate that. I don't know if people have seen that, but they had a great draft. I'm actually
Yeah,
surprised with how
that's the
good.
only thing that worries me with Riley Leonard is he didn't pass the ball. Like I don't know if he'll be ready for passing the ball in NFL.
I mean,
Um,
his thing. If you didn't, I don't because you obviously didn't watch as much
yeah,
Ohio Notre Dame games.
you'll probably know more than me. That's what people say
Yeah,
is
I
his
think that's the
passing
same
is
thing
weak.
about Ohio State people. I don't know as much. That's why you know more. I think so.
Yeah,
JT Tuimalu, he was on Ohio State. You know more about him. He's on the Colts now.
yeah.
Pretty sure he was good. I think when I watched him, I think I had him better than Jack Sawyer.
Just I think with JT, I can make this more go in depth with him. JT, he had like whenever he would do good, he would be the top player on that defense. Against Penn State, he would have a pick six, another pick, 5 sacks. He'd have top stats. In some of the games, he'll have top stats, and then but some of the games he'll disappear. Like you won't see him. Like and like that Oregon Ohio State game during the regular season, you their whole D line wasn't there.
Yeah,
Um their D line was there in the playoffs most of the time. Um maybe except for that second half against Notre Dame. But for the whole
and the first
time,
honestly, the way Riley
what?
Leonard was moving, my God, that
Yeah.
first half of the game, man, I was happy. And then we're not going to talk about what happened.
Yeah. Um, but it's just JT. I think he's less consistent than Jack Sawyer. I think Jack Sawyer will have consistent games. I just don't think he can break out as much as JT can.
Not to go
Um,
into it real quick. Warriors did just beat Houston to go up 2-1 in the series. We'll touch on that later.
yeah, 101-93 with 14 left.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk about it
Um,
later. We'll stay on the NFL.
yeah, well, this is gonna be a longer podcast. We want to try to talk as much things, because we don't really know when we can get another podcast out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just going back to this, with Jack Sawyer, I think he can be more consistent, but I don't think he can break out like JT
Yeah.
can. Um, but yeah, my top three quarterbacks, I think Will Howard's definitely in a good situation. With those receivers, if they can
Yeah.
act good on the field, and his competition right now is Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson, and maybe A-Rod, and Aaron Rodgers is a bum.
Washed.
And I think yeah, he's in a good situation. Steelers, he's Mike Tomlin. I don't know why Steelers fans are saying fire Mike Tomlin. If they
What?
do, I would
They're
love.
saying that?
Yes, yes.
Dang.
If he doesn't do good this year, he might get fired.
Well, I hope they go 7-10 now. Bengals need to get them.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was about to say. I was like, I really, if they fire him, I really hope they fire Zach Taylor and pick up Mike Tomlin
Yeah, bro.
because
That's
Steelers fans are getting desperate, and I would take Mike
oh my
Tomlin over
yeah. We can do
Zach
a
Taylor
trade,
any day.
please. I'll
Yeah.
trade.
I've been saying that every day because this last season, since they lost to the Ravens, they were like firing Mike Tomlin, but the Steelers they don't recognize how bad that Steelers team was. That offense was atrocious, and what Mike Tomlin's doing with that offense is pretty good, and
Mhm.
that defense is straps.
Yeah.
And I
When's the
think that
last
Mike
time?
Tomlin.
Realistically, when's the last time Steelers have had a bad defense?
Yeah, they've had what he's had like 17 straight seasons with a winning record. What else do you want out of him?
I know. I mean,
He won what, three
hey,
Super Bowls?
fire him, please. We'll take him.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
That'll be your
I know he
problem.
hasn't been winning Super Bowls lately, but his teams that he's been making winning records of haven't been good.
He won a Super Bowl,
Um,
right?
yeah, he won like three.
He made something out of nothing.
Yeah, whenever he had Big Ben.
If you think about it,
Um,
that one year where they started off like 12-0, they were not that good to go 12-0 without him. They had
yeah,
Zach Taylor on their team. They would have went freaking like 7-5.
yeah, I know. But yeah, I don't really know. Definitely Will Howard. I think the Browns situation is a mess.
I mean, I
They
think
have
they're going to
eight
be
different
good.
quarterbacks that can. I
Yeah,
think
they are.
out of all of that, I think Dylan Gabriel's will come out on top.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it'll go Dylan Gabriel.
Sure.
I don't think Shador will. I think he'll be third string.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it'll go Dylan Gabriel. I don't know, maybe Kenny Pickett. Um, and then Shador. Um, but I don't like how they drafted two quarterbacks that can have good talent. Um, I think it's just a stupid move, and the Browns organization, they're like the
The
Bengals.
Browns are just the dumbest team I've ever seen.
Yeah,
And the Bengals aren't
they
smart, so I
drafted.
can't say
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. Warriors just won 104-93. But yeah, um, definitely. I think Dylan Gabriel is the best quarterback out of that. Definitely, I think Quinn Ewers could get a start. Maybe Tyler Shuck, maybe. He's older. That's veteran. And I think he can get the start at the Saints. Derek Carr, I don't know if he'll start the season off. With healthy. Um, and Spencer Rattler, he's not that good.
Yeah, he came
Um,
out to kind of be a little bust.
yeah. But this quarterback class wasn't that good.
Mm-mm. There's
It's
like
a
maybe a couple. Okay, like maybe they'll be good, maybe, but
yeah.
then
I
they're
think
like,
most of the teams are a wait for Arch Manning and
yeah.
them to come out next year.
Next year will probably be the glory year for quarterbacks
Yeah.
and stuff. Um,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, been NFL draft has been. I'm trying to think of any more
What else
questions.
talking about? Here, let's do this. Who do we think had the steals of the first round? Like top three. Who has
Um,
like steals? Like, what do you think?
I'll list two off the top of my head. Jalen Walker, Georgia, Falcons. That dude's a dog. Linebacker.
Oh yeah.
He dropped. And the Colts with Tyler Warren
Hmm.
dropping the 14th.
Yeah.
Um, and then my third one. Um, I think Jaheed Campbell to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree with that one.
Jaheed Campbell, I'll go through all three real quick. Jaheed Campbell, he's a really good linebacker. The only thing that's hurting him is he'll probably have three surgeries in the past 2 years. Um, I think two shoulders, one leg. Um, and that could hurt him. But that dude, he plays with intensity.
Hmm.
Um, and I think he'd be definitely a dog. With that Eagles defense, and then. Uh, Jalen Walker, linebacker, Georgia, he was ranked supposed to be in the top 10, and the Falcons drafted him at 15th. I
Great
wish he would have
pickup.
dropped to the Bengals, but he didn't, and I
Hmm.
don't know if the Bengals would have picked him anyway. So, um, but yeah, that dude, he's from Georgia. Georgia always has a good defense. They always play with, they give 110% every play.
Yeah.
They're dogs,
And it starts
literally
with coaching
dogs.
for them.
Yeah. Kirby Smart, definitely a good coach. But yeah, in that Falcons defense, they need defense, and they definitely addressed it with this draft. And then Tyler Warren is pretty plain and simple. Um, Letting him drop and not Colston Loveland. And Tyler Warren literally can do everything on offense. Put him in defense, he can probably play linebacker. Um, but yeah, and then this Colts, they need someone for that quarterback situation, whether it's Anthony Richardson, Riley Leonard, or Daniel Jones. And the quarterback's best friend is always a tight end. And I would love, if I'm a quarterback, to have Tyler Warren as my tight end.
Yeah, and one thing I was gonna touch on with the Riley Leonard thing, Notre Dame's known for their O line and their tight ends, and him and Mitchell Evans had a great connection this year.
Yeah.
And now Tyler Warren, the guy who can literally do anything and make incredible catches. Um, and I'm sure they're gonna keep like train Leonard to throw the ball more, but definitely still use his legs because that's a big part
Yeah.
in his.
Who's your three?
For my three, I'd say so for sure. I'm gonna agree with you on the Jaheed Campbell,
Yeah.
Campbell or whatever his name is. Um, I think Ravens and Malachi Starks.
Yeah, that safety duos would be dirty.
He should have been taken by the freaking Bengals, but the Bengals are dumb.
Malachi Starks and Kyle Hamilton.
Yeah, that's a dangerous backfield. Back defense safeties, you know. I would say Tyler Warren, but since you already said him, I guess I'll go with Jade Barron. I
Yeah.
think I think he was too good to be
Yeah,
past
I think
20.
so. Definitely with him, I think he's in a perfect situation. He doesn't need to take over that cornerback one spot. I don't think he's ready for it, but in definitely the future, I think he can take over that corner one
I think he's a
spot.
cornerback too right now because Pat
Yeah, yeah, and he's learning off the best cornerback in the league,
yeah,
Pat Surtain.
yeah,
Um,
and he just came off of a great season. He played really good against Tech, against Ohio,
in Texas, yeah,
and I mean they did have three guys on him on Jeremiah Smith, but he still
yeah.
did good against them. He only allowed one catch, and
But
he
yeah, Texas
great.
had a good season, and
Yeah, they did great all
he's
season.
highly rated, and he doesn't need to be in a big situation for the Broncos. He just needed to be a good slot guy to cover the slot or the wide receiver too.
Yeah, we already
Um,
proved that Bo Nix was good enough to be their receiver or their quarterback one, and that if they get some more, I'm not sure how their draft went, but if they get some more threats on the offense, like receivers and tight ends in line and all that, I feel like they're going to be
yeah,
top five.
yeah, there, yeah, definitely. Um, so yeah, that's the NFL draft. It's maybe we'll touch on it coming up in next episodes, but NBA playoffs have been interesting, but. Yeah, Bengals. I would give them a C plus. Logan gave them a D. Wasn't a really good draft for them. I don't think. I think they need to draft adjust the cornerbacks more than they did with the linebackers. I think Logan Wilson's a good start. And I think if they would have traded Jermaine Pratt, I think they can get help.
Yeah, I
They
feel
need
like
to do that.
trade Kyron. What? I feel like we need to trade Trayvon Henderson. Why do I
Yeah,
keep saying that? Trey Hendrickson. Dang,
yeah,
I was looking at his name and I said that. Trey
yeah,
Hendrickson. I feel like getting trade value out of him would be big.
yeah. I was wondering if they were able to trade him, but it's the Bengals. They don't trade during the draft.
Bengals are the dumbest team, bro. I wish I could just be a GM for one day. I promise you, I'll
Yeah.
turn that team.
But yeah, NFL draft was interesting with Shador Sanders dropping and teams trading up and just madness happening with this draft. Mel Kiper had him ranked the number one quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
Um and he dropped to the fifth round,
I'm not gonna lie.
sixth
Who are
round.
these people ranking these
Fifth round,
people?
yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, Mel
They.
Kiper.
Oh
He
my
was
god.
he I don't know what impresses him about Shador.
He's just a glazer.
Yeah. He might have special ways with Colorado.
Yeah, he might get some special access to get on that field.
Yeah.
uh,
All right, going on to the NBA. OKC beat the
uh,
Memphis in four. Um, In Game 3, they had the largest comeback in NBA history. They beat the Grizzlies. John Morant got injured in that game and didn't play in Game 4. Um, Clippers and Nuggets have been going back and forth. Um, that series would be good to ending. Lakers Timberwolves. Ant Man is going at him.
Ant owns
He
them,
is
bro.
him. Yeah. Um, but I don't know. And Lakers, if Luka Doncic can pick it up, I think he can be a star player. And then the Rockets Warriors. I have the Warriors. I think they can sneak to the NBA Finals if they get past the Rockets. Um, I think whoever, if yeah, I think the
Mason,
Warriors are underrated.
it don't matter.
What?
Door handle, cheap scandal, or Julius Randle. Lakers in 5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. The Nuggets did just beat the Clippers.
yeah. You can just go. Just recap your
Yeah,
thoughts down the West side, and we can go to the other side.
they just tied the series up today, making it 2-2 in the series, and that was called the best series, and I agree with it. That's going to be back and forth, back and forth. Today the Thunder got the sweep on Grizzlies. Yeah, like you said, the greatest comeback in NBA playoff history. My God, what the frick? We were talking about it. It was like, he was got up 29.
Yeah, we were and like they were down by like 30.
Then I look back
And
on it, and the game's over, and Thunder's winning or
yeah,
won. I'm like, what happened?
yeah.
So that was, Nuggets versus Clippers. Who winner that plays Thunder. Um, I don't know
Thunder,
how that's
they've
gonna
been
go.
dominant. Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know.
think the Thunder's ready for the NBA Finals though.
Yeah,
I think they will fold in one of these games,
you think so?
and it's just a matter of time. Yeah.
I got. I don't know who I'm gonna have to win this series between the Nuggets and Clippers, but I feel like whoever plays, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know
In
that.
my
You know,
ESPN bracket, I filled it out before the NBA, and I have Lakers and Celtics in the finals.
Lakers and I know why you put the Celtics in the finals.
Yeah, but and I just want to address this. I'm not a diehard Celtics fan, by any means. I follow the Celtics. I like them because of Kyrie Irving. I'm not a diehard. I'm not. If Celtics lose, I could care less. If they win, I won't. I'll cheer for them.
Go
I'm
Suns,
not
right?
diehard. Yeah.
Oh, go
Um.
Suns!
What?
You said go Suns, and you said yeah.
What? No.
Anyways,
Suns suck.
um,
Um.
for the bottom half of that side, I got Lakers, Timberwolves. Ant Man right now is killing the Lakers. They can't find
Yeah.
the answer to them, and they're up 2-1 in the series. They play tomorrow at 3:30.
Yeah.
If I feel like if Timberwolves come off with this one, it's over. I think it's over.
Yeah, so I'll just ask you these questions. Wes, did you have you probably had OKC over Grizzlies, right?
Yes,
Who did you have, Nuggets or Clippers?
that one was controversial for me, but I had Nuggets,
Lakers or Timberwolves,
Timberwolves,
and Rockets Warriors.
Warriors,
And then you have OKC and what? Who?
Nuggets,
Nuggets, OKC or Nuggets.
OKC,
And then Timberwolves or Warriors, right?
Timberwolves,
Timberwolves and then Timberwolves or OKC.
Timberwolves.
All right, you got Timberwolves in the finals.
Yes, sir.
So now just going down the east side, we can recap it and we can answer
Yeah,
that on the west. I had the Lakers. They aren't looking too good against the Timberwolves right now, though.
yeah.
Um,
I
but
feel like that it's just if I feel like if Timberwolves get one more win on them, like before Lakers do, I think it's gonna be done.
yeah, it's just I think the Lakers need a big man, and you definitely see
Just
it.
need a center.
Yeah,
The Suns need a
but
center too, though.
yeah, going down the east side, Cavs are not anything to surprise and dominating the Heat. Uh, the Pacers Milwaukee series, that's interesting with Tyrese Halliburton and Damian Lillard. That's they're going at it. I love watching them too. Knicks Pistons. Who's up in that right now?
Knicks are
Two and
by
one. Yeah,
2-1.
yeah. That series will be good. But the thing for the Pistons is last year they were the worst team in the NBA.
Made it to the playoffs and did 6 seed.
Yeah, they aren't supposed to be here clearly.
I'm surprised with them, and I'm happy
Yeah,
for them.
and
They got
then
their
the
first win
Celtics.
in years.
Yeah, and the Celtics Magic, Celtics will probably finish off that one. I think the Celtics are just too talented. Yeah. But then what's your recap over the East?
Cavs Heat. I think that's no surprise. Obviously I had the Cavs winning that one. Well, I mean the Cavs were just too good for them. The Heat weren't that good all around. They lost Jimmy Butler, and it just kind of went downhill from there. Pacers and Bucks. Yeah, that Dame and Halliburton matchup right now.
Yeah.
They need to. Dame and Giannis need to get going, and Drew Holiday. I mean, they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
three.
Damian Lillard has been cold.
Yeah, they have a good three, and with Drew Holiday too.
Yeah.
And they need to just capitalize off of it. And I mean, Pacers. I only know one person off there, and it's Halliburton.
Yeah.
Dame was hurt. I'll give him that. He was out for like a month, so he needs to. Once he's warmed up and back, I think if he gets warmed back up within the series before it's too late, if they win the next one and they get warm, I have. I mean, that's just it could be dangerous for the Pacers. Knicks and Pistons. Obviously, yeah, I don't think Pistons were ready for it, but I mean they've came in and they were not doing bad. It's 2-1. So yeah,
Yeah.
and then Celtics and Magic. Yeah, I think the Celtics are just too good for Magic.
Um, so just going through here, Cavaliers or Heat,
Cavs.
at Cavs,
As much as I
Bucks
hate
or
to say it, by the way,
Pacers.
I hate the Cavs.
Yeah, I don't like them either. Pacers or Bucks.
Bucks.
I had Bucks entering it. Knicks or Pistons.
Knicks.
I had Knicks too,
And
and then Celtics Magic.
Celtics.
Yep.
Magic. No, I'm kidding.
Huh. Cavs or Milwaukee.
Cavs.
I had Cavs too, and then Celtics Knicks,
Celtics. This is gonna be a good one.
and then Cavs Celtics.
Celtics.
Yeah, I had Celtics.
Celtics in the
Wait,
West.
hang on. Oh, never mind. I have Celtics and OKC in my finals.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I guess I picked them over Lakers.
Yeah, I got Celtics and
Um,
Wolves.
but yeah, who you got winning it all? Celtics or Wolves?
I got the Wolves. No, no,
Really?
Celtics.
Oh,
Celtics.
okay. I was about to say I don't know.
No, I think the Wolves are too young and they're not complete yet.
Yeah, I think they need a. I know they have Rudy Gobert. I think they need another player with Ant, and I think they need a better big man than Rudy.
And they lost Cat, so
Yeah, I know.
that could have
They
been
should have
good.
kept him. Yeah,
Gobert was not. He's going DPOI, but I mean,
yeah,
you can't really. I mean, he was getting sauced up last year, so.
yeah. Right now, Cavs are up 3-0. Pacers are up 2-1. Knicks are up 2-1. Celtics are up 2-1. Warriors are up now 2-1. Wolves are up 2-1. Nuggets and Clippers are tied 2-2, and Thunder swept the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Um,
I think the 1 and 8s are just going to be sweeps.
yeah, I think that the Cavs will finish off
Yeah, I think the
the
Rockets
Heat.
are disappointing.
Yeah, I don't know. The Rockets, I think they're young right
They are
now.
really young, yeah. So
I
that's
think they'll be
that's
definitely a good
yeah.
team.
They're
Yeah,
playing against Unks, and their old
yeah,
heads are taking it.
yeah. But the thing is, Jimmy Butler is hurt right now, and
I think he's
he's
back for Game 4.
yeah, he wasn't playing today.
Yeah,
So
today, and they won.
yeah, he took a hard fall whenever he
He broke his a-hole.
yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, um. That's really all from the NBA. Been pretty interesting. This'll be more interesting as gets down to the line in playoffs. I always like watching NBA playoffs. It's always interesting with the backstories of everything. But yeah, we just want to. I know that's all the topics we have for today. We want to end this episode. It happened a couple weeks ago. Kyron Lacey. Um, he took his life away from killing a veteran in a car crash, which then he ran away from the situation. Um, it's just sad to hear. I know he killed a veteran, and if it wasn't on purpose. It was just him crazy driving. Um, and it's just hard for him to take his life away because he was ranked fifth or sixth best receiver in this draft, and maybe will be a top NFL talent in the future. He was one of the best receivers at LSU this past season. But yeah, it's always sad to hear whenever someone takes their life, whenever they're so close to the NFL, and currently, so he's probably been dreaming for the NFL his whole life.
Yeah, and he was. I mean, he was so close. He had everything in his hands, and he took it all away. He had it. I don't know. If it was me, I wouldn't have. You gotta face the consequences for your actions sometimes, and you just gotta take it to the chin. Whether
Yeah,
it's bad or not, you're still gonna be alive.
yeah.
Derek,
Not no motivational speaker, but just
yeah,
talk to people.
I know
Just
if you
don't.
don't know, but Derek Harmon, the one in the draft, the Oregon D tackle,
Yeah, yeah,
went to the hospital to tell his mom she was on the deathbed, and right after
yeah.
he told her, I think hours later, she died.
But that's it. It's just cool because he saw his mom watch him get drafted,
Yeah,
and that's what probably his mom's probably was by his side his whole career.
yeah.
And getting to watch your son get drafted before you die is pretty cool.
Very
And what
sad
God
though.
did, yeah,
Yeah, I think God was kept her alive to let her know.
I watch, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, very sad news from
Not to
that.
end that on a low note by
Yeah,
intentionally,
no,
but
yeah. I'm just we want to give Kyron Lacey and the Derek Harmon prayers for just imagine the different emotions the D tackle's going through, getting drafted and then watch your mom died. It's hard to see that happen.
yeah. But that was great podcast. I feel like we did pretty good with covering everything. If we missed anything, let us know in the comments. If you like the longer episodes and stuff, let us know because we could do these. It would take probably more time because
Yeah,
we go through all the topics and everything. But once
maybe.
we can do
Yeah,
these,
yeah, maybe I don't know if Matthew will get on here, but my dad,
Matthew's a
yeah,
weirdo sometimes.
yeah, but my I think definitely soon we'll have me, my dad, and Logan on our show, and that will be fun.
Yeah,
Um,
our first one.
and yeah, it'll be interesting. All three different takes on different viewpoints on the stuff we talk about, which soon the schedule releases on May 14th. We'll definitely talk about NFL playoffs. MLB will keep on going underway, and the spring camps are all be happening, and just talking about that and college football. Heisman early takes. If you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, we'll definitely be willing to talk about it. It's just maybe we won't know,
Too much about it,
yeah,
but
too
we'll
much
do our
about it.
research about it. I promise.
Yeah. We'll try to give the best podcast episode we can give. For right now, we're just building up. Right now, we're blessed to have 170 subscribers on YouTube. And how's the TikTok situation going?
Well, we got about 50. It's not as much as I would like. I mean, I think I could up it a little more, and I'm gonna keep trying and trying to get better. We got 55 followers.
Still
2 weeks
pretty
ago
good
we had
though.
18. So I mean, we
Yeah.
got 12,000 likes. Our videos are kind of popping off, and um, from now on also, or not from now on. When we do get face cams, whenever we do that, I'm not 100% when we will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post clips and highlights of the podcast on our TikTok and YouTube Shorts.
Yeah. It's just right now we're not that big, and I think we got to earn our way to do that stuff. And um right now it's just a blank screen, but I think we'll get there. I think that our technology right now we're using isn't the best. And if we do use our face, it will start to get laggy and the audio won't be good. So I would rather not risk it and have good audio and not show our face.
Yeah. This year I'm going to invest in this podcast with my own money and stuff, and I'm gonna buy a camera, like an actual camera, and I'm gonna buy
Yeah,
like sound equipment and stuff to do the
yeah,
podcasts with. And
yeah,
we're gonna make
definitely.
it way better, and maybe we can get together once and
Yeah,
do one. Like if I stay the night at your house, we do a face cam podcast, or if you stay the
yeah,
night at my
definitely.
house, we do a face cam podcast. That'd be way better, I think, for our case. And I promise you, I will be posting highlights of the podcast and different takes and all that. And TikTok, I do got to say one thing about that. I know I said daily uploads a lot, but oh my gosh, that got so hard. I'm sorry. I had to end that. That was so hard. I couldn't. I ran out of ideas in like 3 days, and I was doing 2 a day posts. It was bad. Um,
Yeah.
I tried. I made a little bit of a run, like a week, and then I dropped it to 1 a day post, and then I ran out of ideas then, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just do every once in a while. So now,
Yeah.
starting from today, I'm assuming the podcast will either be out tonight or tomorrow. I will be doing one every other day podcast or posts. So
Yeah. And I just want to make it clear we aren't pros at this right now.
yeah.
We're still learning our ground on this stuff. We've created multiple podcasts, and this is definitely the most successful one so far. So we're still learning. If you have any tips, just comment, tell us. We'll definitely do it if it's the right way to do it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the support you've given us, and just keep on supporting us. It's a daily grind every day. Um, yeah, it's just yeah. Anything to say, Logan?
Yeah. I mean, thank you for everything.
Yeah,
Like he was saying earlier with getting his dad and me and him on one. We're trying to our best to get Matthew on. Matthew's being a little weird, like he sometimes is. I don't know why he's doing that. He's weird when it comes to downloading apps on his phone, and it's very weird. I don't know. Maybe he's like working for the CIA undercover. Who knows? With him, he's very mysterious. Um,
Mm.
or maybe Drake hasn't approved him.
yeah.
You guys don't know
We
about
don't have
that
to get too much
relationship.
about background in these situations, but yeah, thank you guys definitely for supporting us. We'll keep on expanding, and definitely me and Logan are committed to this. And we'll have definitely special guests on here as much as we can. And maybe we'll once we get more subscribers, we'll do a live podcast, and we can invite you guys on here, and we
Oh,
can answer some of your guys' questions.
yeah, Q&As and stuff.
Yeah, so just keep on commenting, keep on supporting us. It's a daily grind. We'll do our best to get our content out. Yeah, we're just trying to address this to you guys, so you guys aren't thinking that we don't care and we're just uploading. We do care. It's just right now it's hard with school ending in less than a month.
Yeah, if you think
Or a
about it,
month. Yeah,
right now we got tons of tests because it's the end of the year. End of the year, we got all that stuff going on. We're trying our best. I promise you, we are dedicated to this. This is something we've dreamed of since we've lived with each
yeah.
other a couple years ago. We've always wanted to be big ESP. We'll
In
be on
sports, yeah,
ESPN, big sports podcast creators. And once we get if we do get big enough, we're gonna grind to get our way there,
yeah,
regardless.
definitely.
And
Yeah,
we're gonna
both of
try
our
our
goals
best.
are to be in the NFL. So,
Yeah.
definitely, we'll keep on grinding at this. And right now we're working on football in the weight room, doing conditioning. That's right now happening. So it's hard to upload whenever we get tired from that. It's a lot of work to weight lift and do conditioning and just schoolwork. And then at the end of the day, it's 9 o'clock and you want to go to bed, but you got to create a podcast. It's just hard. And
Yeah.
um, sometimes you got to do it. And right now, it's hard to get ideas and how tired we are. We'll definitely during the NFL season, definitely summer. I think we'll definitely get more stuff out,
Oh
and we'll
yeah, we're
definitely
gonna get
talk
stuff
about
out way more.
yeah. And once high school, we can even talk about high school baseball, football, and basketball. And Cincinnati's definitely a big area for high school. Um,
Yeah, maybe we'll touch on that during seasons.
yeah,
It'll probably be
definitely.
mainly like football season and then maybe basketball postseason because baseball
Yeah, yeah,
it's kind of
postseason,
harder to
yeah.
keep up with.
Yeah, but that Moeller pitchers, thick gosh, two pitchers on Moeller topped out at 97.
Gosh, dang.
Yeah,
Was it Matt Pontowski?
yeah, one of them, yeah.
He won
They were
Mr.
both,
Ohio for
yeah, he
football.
was. They were both childhood friends, and they both topped out at 97.
If you guys don't know, I had to play against that guy. Not fun to play against. We got whooped. Not whooped,
Yeah.
but it was not a good game. Let's just say that. Don't look up Muller's schedule because we got pounded week one. It's not good.
Yeah, but this
But yeah,
is the Two Takes podcast. Definitely a good episode. Thank you guys for if you listened all the way through.
Comment pickle,
Thank you. Yeah.
but
Logan
also
wants to do that, yeah.
comment down below. Again, stuff that we missed, stuff that you would like us to go over, what we want to go over, how much to go in debt. All this stuff. If you
Yeah.
guys like the
What
longer
you guys want to
episodes,
see, yeah.
don't let us know.
Yeah. But
Um,
yeah, definitely. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'm Mason,
I'm Logan.
and this is the Two Takes Podcast.
Peace.